right. So I've come here today to speak on youth employment. And my firm belief ever since I was 15 was if we as youth weren't given the opportunity to prove that we were worthy of being employed, how, firstly, are we going to get the experience required for not only the current employment, but later in life? And second, how do we as a community evolve, and how do we kind of get back to what we give? So this is a little demonstration and a design that I've used on Prezi. They're all images. I've done this for months before coming here because I was really excited. So whilst this is up, I'm just going to give a little bit of a backstory to why I've chosen to come here and speak on this today. I, myself, and several of my friends have been here in St. Thomas literally since the day we were born. Some of us left London, and some of us were able to stay here and find success. And YEP is an ideal policy. It's going to provide youth, which are living at home, school, anything like that, and just recently independent adults, anywhere between the ages of 15 and 25. It gives them this opportunity to where not only can they get employment, but they're also given that chance that we as a community need to share with each other, and we need to see in others. So of course in our modern day society, we want to hire workers with experience, people that we know for certain can bring back to us. And as workers and humans, we age. And eventually we're going to have to give up our spots and bring into the new generation. If we aren't investing in the new generation, what do we have? We as a community, we're a web. And with each link, we rely on each other. And if one link's weakened, we don't get the progress, we don't get the future that we want. St. Thomas, we have a dead side of town to the west. And when I say dead, I mean it because we have empty buildings, empty plots. There's so much potential that we could do here in town. Build a center, bring, let's call it education to people. Help them develop skills, and lastly, get them to work. Get them to places where not only can they get that employment, but we really can build for the future. We can rebuild St. Thomas locally, and we can make for a better Canada, Ontario, a better family. And why? Because youth, it's our future. It's an undeniable fact. And if we fail to keep those roots in the present for the future, then we have nothing. We're living in the moment, and we can't risk everything just on what may happen today. We need to always look to tomorrow. With any policy, there have to be conditions. With employment, you need to uphold WMIS, anything else within the company. And along with that, after the month, any employer cannot just fire the employee. In this method, you wouldn't get paid in the first month, but you have that hands-on experience, you have the experience with your coworkers and experience from the job. And you can constantly help. Employees need to be at least 16 years to qualify perfectly and get into the system. And for the reason that it's really inspired me is because I've had a friend recently named Brandon Wade who had always wanted to work. He had 2 children. He was 22 and he ended up committing suicide just on Tuesday night. And as I'll get into detail just shortly after this, the biggest thing in life was he would constantly go to work and he'd never get anything with it. We need to build for the future. Oh, perfect. So, yes, the future is the biggest thing here. And although we all like to imagine that we can just keep investing with school and then once they get out of school, they're all good to go to work and we've got careers set up, everybody needs a little bit of help here and there. We're in this together.
So just to kind of, we got a couple questions here now for if anybody that wants to just ask Chris any questions on his program, on the YEP program. Any takers?
Can you tell us a little more about what would happen in this building?
In this building, okay, I'm just going to repeat. Your question was what would happen in the building?
Yeah, kind of on a daily basis, what would happen?
So on a daily basis, what would happen is they would come in. We would first see what their exact qualifications are. High school, you have majors, obviously post-secondary, and work in between. Here we also have an insight of what their potential is. They would come in, they would show, and they would also put forth their desire of where they would want to go next. And here the employer can also be looking for employees or also for a branch to start putting in people as the current employees begin to get ready for retirement or to leave. So more or less it's to build for the next people coming in. It's for people that are going to be coming into the system itself, and it's to help preserve the people who are going to have to be going through it before they finally rest in the career or the job where they're going to be at for many years to come.
One last question.
Do you have a lot of the employers in St. Thomas that are willing to participate in this program?
I'm sorry. Yes, there have been some employers that have spoken with me about this program. I've spoken to, I'm horrible with names right off the bat. The leading manager at Freshco had stated that if such a thing would go in, that he'd be willing to follow with. We've got a whole bunch of other local businesses just in town that would more than likely also join in, and I've spoken with just a couple within the western end here in town.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. So Chris did allude to another topic that we actually dropped. We're supposed to have 8 speakers tonight, so we missed a speaker, so we're actually going to drop down to 7. So we do have a couple of minutes, so we're going to give Chris the mic to talk about a different topic that has kind of hit him close to home, mental wellness. So Chris, I'll give you a couple of minutes to speak on mental wellness.
Many thanks. So within my life myself, what's affected me is in 2015, I myself have lost 11 close friends that I've considered brothers, 9 of which were full-blown suicides. 1 was an accident and 1 was a seizure. 1 was known to the community, Harley Beaver, who left us in April, and I just spoke of Brandon Wade, who just left us this week. Mental illness, it's something that's very widely neglected. We have some places that look to it, like CMHA, we have a health center, but realistically that's it. A lot of things are just dropped and they stop. This isn't a shoot or any attack to anyone. I hope to inspire people to look around and really help those in need, because your loved ones, your friends, we feel like we know them the most, but somebody always has something that they're dealing with, and there's always something just behind that curtain, and the worst feeling in the world is when you have to say goodbye, when there was so much room for potential for the future and so much left behind. So that's really all I had on the subject. There's many different things within town, and there are projects within Youth and Philanthropy that are also being taken under. So if you want to keep up with that, there are probably more than likely many different sources you can stick with. I don't want to keep taking up all the time, but thank you, and
Thanks,
yeah.
Chris.